Hey guys, I had a request for a video on my Romanian World War II get-up, so I'll kind of go over that with you and share with you a little bit about what they carried, kind of the stages of equipment that they carried and all that stuff from 1941 to 45. This is what I have together. Doesn't mean it's 100% correct. I've done as much research as I possibly can because there really isn't a lot out there about World War II Romania. So I've just been going by pictures and what historians have said and what articles have said, and mainly pictures and video evidence. So we'll start out with the, of course everybody wants to see the rifle. The Romanians used the Czechoslovakian VZ-24. This one actually is a Romanian contract. You can tell if it's got a letter and then R. And these were made between 1938 and 1940, so that's a Romanian contract. This is refurbished, of course, but I'm not going to scuff it up just for the sake of reenacting. It's the same thing as a K98. Aesthetically it's different, but it's a large ring Mauser action. The Czechs used it, the Germans used it, and the Romanians used it. This was their main rifle during World War II, and it fires the 8mm 8x57 Mauser cartridge, which all these things are stiff. Each of these pouches holds five round chargers for the rifle. So it's just 2 chargers less than the standard German load. So these look like small pouches and like they're not very useful, but it's only 2 less clips. And I don't know what they had as far as bandoliers or whatnot, but this was the standard load right here. They had just a plain stainless steel matte finish gray belt buckle with a leather belt. I'm gonna go to the left side. They use the VZ-24 bayonet, which, in case you didn't know, the blade faces up on these, and it's got a locking ring on it, or a muzzle ring, whereas the K98 bayonet's got the blade the other way and doesn't have the ring on it. This will fit on a K98, and vice versa, a K98 bayonet will fit on the VZ-24, but this is what the Romanians would have carried, because they had the contract with the Czechs that included the bayonets. Oh, that's right, there's a specific way to put that back in. They had an e-tool that was similar to most Eastern European and Russian e-tools at the time. I'll try and take this out. This stuff's all dirty and stiff. But just a square, little short and stout handled e-tool. And I'll pull this out. Pretty much every Eastern European country from before World War I to the end of World War II had these. This one's actually, I think, Hungarian. But I was looking at the World War II Romanian e-tools, and they look almost identical with the rivets and everything. So it may not be perfect, but it looks exactly like the ones that I've seen in pictures, photographs, videos, and original pieces that are for sale. So I'll try and get this back in. The cover was just pretty much the German/Eastern European spade cover, where the bayonet is made to kind of go through the bottom. Little loop. This thing's a pain in the ass. The e-tool's meant to be used. I mean, sometimes they'd have it, and for this purpose, for the rest of the video, I'm just going to put it right here. A lot of guys would have it like that, so if they needed to get at it really quick, because obviously you can see it's a pain in the ass to get it out and put it back in. The Romanians use a lot of German equipment because they were really ill-equipped at the beginning of World War II. They were still using stuff from the 20s and 30s, and Romania really wasn't planning on entering a huge war like they did in 1941. So they started using a lot of German stuff out in the field. The Germans had extra stuff and they would give it to the Romanians, which is why the German gas mask canister and the canteen are here. So I mean, it was a pretty big mix, and you can look at just about any picture of a Romanian soldier and see a bunch of German gear on them. And then they had the haversack, which is just a really heavy canvas bag that had a place on the outside that you can put a mess kit, which this is. It's just a little tray looking thing with a handle. I mean, really, what more do you need? And then they had the shelter half or quarter. I think it's a quarter because it's a Zelt, but it might be a half. Just similar to the World War I German gray Zeltbahn. And they would roll them up on here. They'd wear them on their backs. They'd wear them bandolier style, but my ogre ass can't do that because this thing doesn't really fit. So I've seen them wearing them like this, and they usually have the haversack back here and out of the way. They carried their extra socks, food, whatever they needed. Pretty much like a small haversack. They're the equivalent of the Germans' bread bag, except they wore it via a sling. And then the uniform itself is just a standard brown wool. This is the 1939 model. You can tell with the kind of fancy peaked cuffs, which was pretty common of a lot of old school military uniforms. The buttons are brass. They darken them on the M41 uniforms. It's pretty much standard wool. You got the leg wraps, or the pootees, which I've seen them being worn two styles. One is actually inside the boot, like socks or whatever, and the other is just your standard outside the sock. They were one of the few militaries in World War II. Well, never mind, because the Russians and the Japanese and some other Eastern European countries wore these. But anyways, they wore these through World War II. Boots are just standard black European boots. They have hobnails on them. These are my World War I British ammo boots, but the pictures are identical and it's pretty similar. Some of them didn't have hobnails, but I'm just using these to kind of get an accurate representation. And then the helmet is the 1939 helmet. I did the video on it, painted the correct color. This one's got mud on it. That's kind of what it looks like on somebody. So you can tell in a picture that when you see the profile from the side of a Romanian soldier, you can definitely tell it's Romanian and not German because of the weird looking helmet. So that's pretty much the equipment. The Y straps are just standard leather Y straps. It's pretty basic stuff. I mean, most Eastern European militaries at the time had a pretty basic inventory, and their stuff really wasn't that complicated. Same with the Russians. Their stuff was pretty simple. The German stuff is really elegant. They've got a lot of equipment, all this, all that. We ditched a lot of it out in the field, but this is what a Romanian uniform would have looked like, just a standard everyday Joe. These Romanians sent 500,000 troops to fight on the Eastern Front, so I think that's worthy of mentioning at World War II events. And oh, one more thing I forgot to mention, they had a German-style dog tag. It had a few different things though. It was a lot more simple. They had the I don't know the Romanian word. It's MATR. That's your roster number pretty much. And then CTG is like your year of enlistment. And then your regiment is your regiment, 26th Infantry of the 2nd Infantry Division. A lot of these are just really basic. You'll find these a lot. So if you find a dog tag that's got these, the MATR, CTG, and REG on it, it's a Romanian blank, or if it's got information, you know it's Romanian. That's how you tell the difference. Or not, the style is the same as the Germans. They wore it the same around the neck, and then you'd break it in half for the casualty report. One stays with the body, one kind of went with the officers to send the notifications. So they did have a rucksack that they had. They didn't really wear them out in the field that much. It was kind of like pretty much a lot of other things like World War I stuff where they'd wear them to and from a certain location that they were going to be staying for a while, and then they'd drop them, take what they needed, and then this is kind of the light setup. And if you look at a lot of pictures, they'll be wearing the overcoat, which I'm not going to because it kind of takes away from the actual uniform itself, and I don't have one yet. I'm trying to get those made. They just look like a standard European overcoat. So that's really all there was to the uniform, and it's really interesting because it's hard to research because there's not a lot out there. But I mean, it's a great time. Me and a couple other friends have, or they're putting together the Romanian stuff, and I'm still trying to piece it together. It's really not that bad. Like, so the uniform is, I sell them because my tailor makes them because nobody else makes them. I sell them for $375 shipped for the whole set of wool, whatever size you need. Bigger sizes obviously cost more. The leg wraps, I also sell those, the 9 or 12 footers for 20 to 30 bucks. The boots you can get from What Price Glory for, I think, around $100. It's not that much. And you know, the gear, the pouches are like 15 bucks a piece. So overall, you can get this with the rifle, a VZ24, preferably a Romanian contract, for under $1,000. The helmet's going to be about 90, and then you can paint it and get it to look like the World War II paint. So it's pretty cheap, affordable, and really cool. And I'd like to see a lot more people do this eventually, or Bulgaria, or Hungary, or any kind of Eastern European country at that time that was on the Axis side, because everybody just does German. They do here, or SS, or the foreign volunteers that were in the SS, the Osttruppen, whatever. They're all German though, and there was a lot more people fighting on the Eastern Front than just Germans. So, not that I have a problem with people that do German, but it's kind of cool to see other things, so that's why I chose to put this together. And I thought it was kind of unusual that Romania sent 500,000 soldiers to fight, lost a lot of guys, and they got pretty much no recognition for it because apparently they were responsible for Stalingrad failing. But I mean, that's whatever, that's a debate that I don't want to get into. So yeah, if you have any questions on anything, feel free to ask. I'm kind of getting better at knowing where to get all the equipment, because that's the hardest part. I have the uniforms, the helmets are kind of readily available, you can get them. But yeah, I'd be more than happy to help you out if you want to put together a Romanian impression. And we got support from Romanian friends that say, hey, this is awesome, thank you for representing our country. And they're really happy about it, and they're willing to give us information and say, oh, well, actually they did this, they didn't do this. So this is also from Romanian people themselves that are historians that said, yeah, here's what they would have worn. And unfortunately, most of the stuff that Romania used in World War II got destroyed or thrown away because it was surplus and they didn't need it, and they needed to keep up with the Cold War production of military stuff. So a lot of these helmets, they got used for a while, and then they got melted down when they came out with the new one. The uniforms, they changed a little bit, but most of them were used so much and they were destroyed, and it's hard to get Romanian surplus even from the Cold War. So yeah, all right, I'll quit ranting. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Can't wait to do this at events and kind of teach people about it. And hopefully more people do this. I'm located up in Wisconsin. If you're up in that area, maybe we can figure something out. We've got a guy from Iowa that's doing this, so distance really isn't a factor if you really want to get this going and show up to World War II events and portray Romania. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you will, and we'll see you next time.